Welcome to Some Topic, the podcast where two dangerously underqualified individuals tackle an ever-changing buffet of subjects we have no business discussing. From global politics to ghost squirrels, nothing is off limits, and nothing is properly researched. We are your hosts, two voices with microphones, a Wi-Fi connection, and just enough confidence to sound like we know what we're talking about. Spoiler, we don't. But that's never stopped anyone with a podcast before, and we refuse to be the first. Every week, we plunge headfirst into topics both serious and stupid, usually at the same time, armed only with sarcasm, caffeine, and a dangerous overestimation of our own coherence. Whether it's philosophy, politics, pop culture, or paranormal rodents, we approach each subject like two raccoons who broke into the Library of Alexandria, knocked over a torch, and now insist the fire was enlightenment. Our findings? Improvised. Our sources? Suspect. Our method? Whatever we yanked from our asses while marching proudly up the hill of stupidity, ready to fall honorably in the fog of ego, ontological confusion, and the blood-slick ruins of abandoned discourse. It's too late to turn back now. Your descent has begun. And we, your casually deranged hosts, will guide you in style straight through the crumbling ruins of reason. Listener discretion is enthusiastically advised. This podcast contains strong language, stronger delusions, and a persistent disregard for intellectual safety. If you're easily offended, chronically literal, or spiritually fragile, please relax your chakras, unclench whatever needs unclenching, and consider yelling at a tree instead. This is not journalism. This is not education. This is comedy. This is play. This is Some Topic. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 3. The bin giveth and the bin taketh away, usually depending on pickup day. I need to give a brief update regarding the unpaid interns. For last fiscal quarter, their caffeine habits were entirely self-funded through dumpster-based nutrition and used coffee grounds rescued from the trash compactor behind the local prison. As you can imagine, results were inconsistent. Archival accuracy, unstable. Claw precision, questionable. Midday existential collapse, guaranteed. It was a difficult quarter. But that ends today. We've transitioned the entire intern program to Strong Coffee Company. Their black blend has 15 grams of protein, 5 grams of MCTs, and adaptogens like ashwagandha and L-theanine. So instead of spike and crash routines, it's a sustained focus. The results speak for themselves. If you're going to drink coffee anyway, it might as well pull its weight. You can get 20% off your entire order when you use code TOPIC at strongcoffeecompany.com. And for transparency's sake, like a raccoon peering through a mason jar instead of a magnifying glass while searching for mythic relics buried in a landfill, we'll tell you plainly. The show earns a commission when you use code TOPIC. So if you grab some, you're not just upgrading your coffee. You're funding structured nutrition for the interns. Nick, myself, and the Intern Nutritional Authority thank you for your service. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 1. In the beginning, the trash was without form and void, but raccoons saw that it could be organized.
So, I guess to set the scene a little bit, I just watched a 2-minute, 3-minute video on how to meet women, and I can appropriately say that is a some kind of snippet from the 70s, because I don't know any women that would dress that scantily and be as calm as they were. Usually you've seen that in a porn video or a really, really sexualized movie. Maybe a porno, I guess, from one of those lovely stations down the road when you're going to Kansas City. So, what did I just watch?
What you just watched, Nick, is a video from the Found Footage Fest. Shout out to them on YouTube. A sort of a compilation designed to show off various found footage of vintage VHS tapes. And
That was on a VHS tape.
You couldn't tell?
No, it was grainy and shitty. Like, yeah.
No, well, this VHS tape was actually made for and sold at Schnucks grocery stores.
I'm sorry, what?
For those who don't know, Schnucks is a grocery store chain local in the St. Louis area, and the title of the VHS tape is How to Meet Women in St. Louis. Now, the first piece of advice on said tape, given by the production of the tape itself and by the women in lingerie who star in the picture, is the way to meet women in St. Louis is at grocery stores.
Yes, because nothing says, I want to meet a mother of three, like going to Schnucks. Beautiful. Or I want to meet a babe on food stamps with 6 children, and each of those children have a different father.
Hey. The folks who shop at Schnucks are good, salt-of-the-earth, blue-collar, union member folks.
And I'm sure that back in the 70s, that used to mean something. Nowadays,
I believe the tape was made 1990.
Yeah, that it did not age well. 30 years, it did not age well.
It was the most 80s video ever made, and you immediately pegged it as 70s.
I don't know, man. The hair threw me off.
Yeah, the incredibly 80s frilly, poofy hair.
I thought it was 70s. Sue me, I'm a 90s kid.
No, it's very 80s hair.
Well, alrighty then. So, I know that they were telling us little snippets on how to meet women. The first one was in the grocery store.
Right, a clear reference to the Schnucks benefactors of the film.
Yes. Single hot-blooded males come meet scantily clad women in the frozen section.
Quite the marketing ploy, you have to admit, to try and get more men shopping in your grocery stores by, one, putting softcore pornography on the shelf that markets, that instructs you on how to meet more women by, again, shopping at said grocery store.
Well, it's not like they don't do that nowadays, right?
Sell softcore pornography at grocery stores? I'm pretty sure they don't.
Well, have you ever...
I mean, Aunt Jemima can get it and all, but they took her down.
What, Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben just going at it, one after the other? Actually, didn't they take... I know they took Aunt Jemima down, but didn't they take Uncle Ben down too?
I don't know. The point was I wanted to fuck the cereal mascot, not racism or whatever.
So, to me, it's... Yeah, back in you said the 90s. So that, even then, I remember that my...
1990, like still 80s for all intents and purposes.
Turn of the, 80s, early 90s, whatever. I remember my dad used to have a lot of Playboys on his, on the John, and he'd always take his sweet ass time, and there would be our big black cat, Worf. He's a big Star Trek fan. And he would just be sitting on the shitter for hours and hours and hours on end. And,
for the articles, of course.
Oh, yes. Just not, never for the articles. Doing his business. He was an upstanding citizen. And he'd be in there for hours. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, when you're a young man and you finally get excited and it's like, oh, look. there's a hot woman on this magazine. And, I'm starting to look through these magazines, and I finally figured out, now that I'm in my, late 20s, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why he did it. But, as a
For the articles.
Yeah, exactly, for the articles. So as he's looking at it, it's like, oh, yeah. So I remember my mom was knocking on the shitter when I took my sweet ass time, and it was like, hey, son, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm just having a hard turd. I don't know why I said that, but I did. And, now I just take hard turds. But I just remember I was flipping through the page, and next thing you know, it's like, wow, look at them titties. Like, holy fuck. Well, that was before OnlyFans, by the way. That was before you could get your free porn on whatever website you had. Before, the OGs got grandfathered in, before all the state legislation got in and kicked you out of Pornhub.
Oh, don't get me started.
Did someone ruin happy, fun Brett time? As he aggressively shakes his head.
I think it's a travesty, the closure of the Wild West of the internet and government overreach. Fuck them, that's what I say. Puritanical bastards in government having to police the internet by mandating that you have to have an ID for everything. I don't think there's any end in sight. Yeah, I mean, the same people who are plenty happy to cover up Epstein Island and shit are going to say what I can and can't do on the internet. And I mean, sure, porn websites is one thing, but Discord, Reddit, social media, etc., where's it going to end with the death of free speech?
Well, I mean, okay, that brings up a good topic, right? Because this is an episode about dating. Is there...
It?
Well, yeah, this is an episode about dating, Brett. Keep up. So, we are in an age where porn is readily available. Like, when we were growing up, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go online and I can look up hoo-has. It was, that came more or less after... I'd say early 2000s, no?
It existed, Part of it is that bandwidth and stuff was still real low, and that we didn't have unrestricted access to the internet yet.
And it was, I think it's a good thing. It's a good step in the right direction because...
I mean, I didn't even show you the video, the other VHS tape from the good folks at Found Footage Fest on YouTube, How to Have Cyber Sex on the Internet.
All right, we'll look that up after the break. Or during the break. So we are at an age where everything is readily accessible, and there was never a lot of internet laws. So the fact that some kid, like, God forbid it was one of our future children that was able to look up hoo-has of some ancient porn star, right? Great. Now you got to have the sex talk when they're, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And it's when, the legislation is starting to catch up now, and that's great. I don't know if it's being implemented correctly, and I don't know how it should be implemented. That's not really my call to make. But it is one of those things where you have grown men having access to the ability to whack off whenever they want to. So why would they need a woman, right? So what would be the point of dating? Like, in an essence, what is the point of dating? To procreate.
For when you've got too much time and too much money and too much emotional bandwidth, and you have to start throwing some of it away.
Yeah, and what better way of doing that than dating? Of course. So, I think that the legislation is a good idea. Do they implement it correctly? No, I don't think so.
I think the legislation's a bad idea, man. Fuck them kids.
Oh, yeah, fuck those little bastards.
Yeah, I mean, no, they would put us all in camps for the sake of the children if they could.
Well, then what do you suggest they do? You think that porn should be readily available?
I think that the freedom of speech is more important, and that it comes down to parenting and to children and to having unrestricted internet access as a child should not be good parenting.
So you think that it should be more of a keep it in the family instead of the government type of ideal?
Yeah.
Okay, I can get with that. So what should a family
I didn't
do
have
to stop
unrestricted internet access until I was a young teen. I think that's all right. It didn't keep me away from the, catalogs of brassieres and stuff in the mail.
Oh, yeah, you can go online and put your email and have a subscription to Victoria's Secret. Like, yeah, that was all well and done.
No, just Sears.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I saw an empty Sears building when I was going down south this weekend, and it had you could tell where the logo was.
We'll do a different episode on
what the fuck was Sears
on dead stores. In
God damn it!
I added it to the list.
There you go. So I am. I think that the restriction. I think that the step is in the right direction. I think the implication is wrong. I think that you have the right idea when it comes to families restricting their children, but that keeps in mind that you have a father and mother, or mother and mother, father and father kind of family unit inside.
And what the fuck are you saying? That, the orphans are going to become too addicted to porn? Fuck off.
Why wouldn't they? Who's going to stop them?
Poverty from growing up in a orphanage.
What's to stop them from going from the public library and just looking up porn?
Well, the library frowns upon that generally.
Do they? How else did you get your porn?
In the Sears catalog. You already touched on this.
Like a good little Boy Scout. Understood. So, in essence, because porn is so readily available, like anybody with a credit card can go to OnlyFans and just get a subscription to whoever or at whoever, whatever, right?
No, I think even that is simplifying too much, that the bulk of it is free and widely available, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah. Did you hear that the OnlyFans creator, owner, whatever, died?
Yeah.
And Elon Musk was thinking about buying it? I'm just thinking, like, man's been doing SpaceX, the man's doing the tunnel shit, he's doing Tesla, he's doing all this other stuff, and it's like, yeah, I'll buy OnlyFans.
Because he needs to ruin another social media platform, right?
And he's doing Twitter, yeah. It's just funny. It's just, like, genuinely, like, what? Gonna get in the porn industry now, like, gonna regulate everything, like, fuck it. And he's in Doge. That's just great. Man's in everything.
He could have bought Tumblr and put porn back on there, but chose not to.
That bastard.
I know.
Here we are with like the golden opportunity, the golden ideas. Put porn back on Tumblr.
I don't think that's $1 million idea. I think he would still be.
It's a couple thousand at least.
In the red.
It's a couple thousand for us. Okay, so. Porn's readily available. Kids can grab it, yada, yada, yada. We're not even touching on the psychology bit of that. We're not even talking about what implications that has as far as a young man not being able to get a boner on his first fucking attempt at sex. What is the point of dating if you have sex? Like, why should somebody date?
I would say that, there's a lot of emphasis on dating in this day and age, that it's either real serious or real casual without a whole lot in between. And I think that this loss of a middle ground is detrimental to the dating scene,
Loss of the middle ground, what do you mean? The fact that people know what women look like and it's just over-sexualized?
No, I think that there should be a middle ground of taking people on dates without being super serious about it.
Yeah.
Or about the intention to get super serious about it, or to just have casual hookup. I think that there should be this happy middle ground of just shopping around, meeting people, trying to have a nice time. Like in all them old movies set in like the 50s and stuff, they always say like, "Oh, Johnny and I are going steady." You know, like
we went on 3 dates instead of 2.
You know, in my mind, that always implied that there was a whole lot of not going steady going on. That there was a whole lot of shopping around to be done. A whole lot of not super committed dating going on without being necessarily exclusive or super serious or just boning down. But again, of just meeting people for its own sake.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. I think it's really, really easy to say, go on a date, do this, do that. I think it's another thing to do it in this day and age, because there is always the caveat of, oh, I'm insert whatever misunderstanding. Like, you can be an honest, straight up guy, and you can just get fucked over 10 ways to Sunday as a male. Now, don't get me wrong. There are shitbags out there. There are people that take advantage of whatever situation you're in with a young girl, or maybe it's an experienced girl. I don't know. Whatever dating scenario you have. It's just, the market is not it's just not there. Like, why go on dates? Now, I got lucky with my girlfriend, and I was able to have honest conversations, but I had to set protections for myself. I had to make sure it was a public place. I had to make sure that wherever we were going, there was constant communication with, hey, I'm going here, here, and here. So that way somebody knew what was going on outside of myself. So that way, if anything happened legalese-wise, my ass was protected. Because as much as I love the fact that it's gone to the extreme of women being able to protect themselves, it's now come across as the pendulum swings to where a man, he could open the door for a woman and the woman screams rape, and it's a he said, she said, and they will always take the she said part. And that is totally unfair for males. So it's almost like, what is the point of a male going out on a date?
I think that's kind of bullshit. I don't think...
I disagree wholeheartedly, because it is very much fair. My entire life, everything that I work for, could be fucked over by one person, a girl. Not even to mention...
Could be, but there's not a whole lot of motivation to do so.
I disagree. There could be a lot of... you remember when for our viewers who don't know, me and Brett have been friends for a very long time. We've gone to the same schools, basically had the same homework, and I remember having a lot of conversations about, hey, blah, 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 blah. I like this girl, I like that girl, yada, yada, yada. But I remember the Crucible. Do you remember that class and that particular story?
Sure.
Okay. In that story, it was the Salem witch trials, and the entire thing is I'm trying to think of the word. It's a
witch hunt.
It is a witch hunt. It is a literal witch hunt, but it's also it's satire, because the girl that was accusing other people, she was legitimately hurting their reputation and destroying their livelihoods. All because she was, I think in the story, she was rejected somehow. I forget what it was. Like, a boy didn't like her, or she didn't get the job she wanted, or yada, yada, yada. My point is that she ruined other women's livelihoods. And she ruined, I want to say she ruined those women's livelihoods because of a relationship kind of thing. But the point standing is that particular story I always think about, because she went out of her way to basically burn these other people at the stake, and you're sitting here and you're thinking to yourself, like, holy hell, like, here I am, like, burning alive because somebody said it was a he said, she said kind of thing. And that's what I always think about whenever these interactions are happening. Like, it's one thing with a guy, because you know that if you're talking with a gentleman, at least a reasonable one, okay, it's guy to guy. Worst they say is I get, butt raped? Okay. LGBTQ notwithstanding, nobody's really going to look at that kind of funny. They're going to be like, what's going on here? They're going to question it. They're going to investigate it. With a woman, it's a little different because those are the kind of things as a man I know for myself that you want to protect. So when you are in a situation where they are abusing that protection, that like as a man, it's like in my head, like in my mind and in my soul, it's like I need to make sure that you are okay. You are getting home. I'm opening the door for you. I'm making sure that I'm giving you my coat. I'm going above and beyond, and I'm trying to be chivalrous. I'm trying to be a gentleman. And it's not that they abuse that. It's just that some people can, and it's something to be wary of. Much like on how if somebody screams, it's like the boy who cried wolf, right? Like you have to be careful of who it is you are dating because you are intentionally putting your livelihood, your person, and who you are. Because it is so easy in this day and age with cameras and how everything is accessible in the internet to be very much judged with limited amount of information. So by setting yourself up for success, by telling people this is where I'm at, doing a public dating, making sure that
that's people, a big part of dating and dating culture is
yes,
publicity is public safe. Not necessarily for your reputation, but for a woman's safety.
Correct.
For if not for her safety, then for in ye olden days, then for her chastity's sake, right?
Yeah.
And you remember Mel Gibson Braveheart, right? They strap each other opposite and throw them into the bed together. But, tied up so they can't do anything. Or, all the 50s stuff, it's all very public dinery spaces and all. Or, you had an adult chaperone to make sure that, nothing bad happened.
Well, what do they call it in Braveheart where you wear the sack?
Them up together?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
They call it, whatever. The idea was that the son
they were like
had a sack around him and they were actually like sleeping together in the same bed, and it was this idea that they wouldn't get handsy. And then later in the movie you see the boy with like ink all over his teeth as a reference to a joke that he had done when he was a kid, so on and so forth. And it's like, is it called sacking?
I doubt it.
That would be a little on the nose, I'll give you that. But you have this thing where even then,
my
parents
point
are in the room.
At least to start with, for your sake, you might want to be above board and have some publicity and stuff for your own reputation. But again, for her safety's sake, for her reputation's sake, again, she wants to be public. She wants to avoid the dangers present.
And it's a great indicator of your, as a man, that you are able to actually go and have socialization.
I believe that you should believe rape victims and stuff. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. But yeah, I also believe that people should be smart about it and not, and have the accountability of publicity, at least for getting started.
Yeah,
until you're feeling comfortable and safe with each other to take things a bit more private.
I wish I was like that. I am just not, and I'm a big advocate of just make sure that you are protected as a man. Like, do the things that you feel like, hey, I want to make sure that this girl has a good time, get her flowers, cherish her, adore her, but protect yourself. Like, from just public, and not even everything.
Not even like, oh, you have to, watch out. She might just decide to spend years and trillions of dollars in court for no reason trying to fuck you over. It's a matter of, you want her to feel safe.
Correct. And we're not even touching on the subject of, like, God forbid that she, I feel like I'm painting women in a bad light. I don't know. I'm not trying to, but again, from a male's perspective, this is just how I see it in today's culture. As a woman, you have all of the power. If you get pregnant, you can say, "Oh, you were the father," and then it's like, okay, awesome. Where is the guy's ability to say, "Oh, that is not my child," or "Hey, where's my paternity test?" or no, I don't want to pay child support every month or blah, blah, blah. It's just not there. Now, granted, what right do we have as men to go and say to a woman, hey, this is your body. This is not my child, or get rid of this child, or I want nothing to say with it. Like, that's not how it works. So you have to be very careful. And there are women in this world that will abuse and use you in the face of how their life is going, and when they see a candid male that's just like ready and accepting of wanting that love. And one of the things I think of why dating is such a good thing is because of it goes back to kind of the Christian philosophy of man, woman, and children. Like you want a marriage, you want this, you want that. It's having that partner. It's having that, person you can confide in, person that you can basically stand against the winds of life, the roughness of everything. And that shit is like you want that. Like that's like you kind of see that in almost every Disney movie, every kind of pop culture thing. If you have a traditional home, yeah, you want what your parents had, or you want better than what your parents had if they had a really rough childhood. So that's kind of one of the allures of dating in my mind. That's why I would date. That's why I am dating, right? So that's why but again, you, as a male, you're the provider. That's the common belief, the common theme in most kind of relationships I found.
The traditional role. Yeah.
In a sense, yeah. And there's untraditional relationships, and do your own thing. I'm not gonna yuck in your yum. This is my point of view and how we do this, and again.
So, what do you think? That's a positive development that, as when we become ever more present and consolidated in the workplace, that they become viewed more as providers in their own right, that the relationship gains more equal footing?
I think that for thousands of years, the traditional kind of equation that's worked for our ancestors and every ancestor has been man, woman, children. Man provides, woman helps. Now, whether the woman steps up, the woman, does what she can, the woman helps to raise the children. Like, again, that in itself has been around for thousands of years. So who am I to argue with that kind of legitimate, data?
I don't know. I'd argue that the atomic family of one man and one woman and 2.2 kids is sort of a myth in its own right, that in most societies for the past few millennia have been larger family units, not just with more kids, but with more extended family, more relatives, that the whole, it takes a village to raise a child used to be a lot more literal.
Yeah.
That it wasn't one woman rearing 2.2 kids, it was a whole bunch of women rearing a whole bunch of kids as a larger process. It was older kids raising younger kids, blah, 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 blah. And I think that the loss of this larger societal unit in favor of the nuclear family, and then in favor of yet smaller, more broken families, has been a detriment to society.
And I mean, you could go into as much depth and detail as you wanted. I just think that the ideal scenario would be you and your partner, whether that's a female, whether that's a male, whether that's somebody who's insert your pronoun or insert your whatever the hell you are, because I'm not yucking your yum. That is the end goal of dating, right? Like to be with this other person and then to literally go and storm the weather, storm the wind that is life. Like that is why we do it. Now to have an offspring, like whether you adopt, whether you are graced with life, whether you are able to go out of your way and help somebody who is tiny and can't fend for themselves, and you take your resources to help them. that's kind of the, you're imparting your own life onto somebody else, so that way they can continue the cycle. And that's kind of, to me, that's why we date. Like, that is, in essence, a great reason to date. And
yeah, I mean, even then, when you get kids in the picture, what happens? The classic trope of, oh, well, you've got two people and they're both completely fucking exhausted because they've got this thing crying and keeping them up all night. And now they're less happy with each other and they're less competent at their jobs at work and blah, 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 blah. In my mind, that's just even more evidence that it's a larger job that takes more people and more specialization, I think, is what you're driving at. That it's a matter not just of traditional patriarchal roles and stuff for tradition's sake, but of efficiency and specialization. And I think that, as you get more people, you can get, not an economy of scale, but, more efficiency as you get more specialists, as you function as a society or as a larger extended family, that it's not just a matter of caring for the young, but also for caring for your old, and for not just a designated provider, but designated providers, and blah, 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 blah. And I suppose my point is maybe we should bring back the orgy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Let's do multiple women and one man.
For society's sake.
Yeah. Repopulate the earth with the sperm of the superior race.
Yeah.
Fuck killing. Why would we do that?
And
just love, buddy.
And you also need 4 witnesses for a rape.
Really?
No, that's a common misconception that in Islam you need 4 witnesses for a rape. You need 4 witnesses for a infidelity case.
Oh.
Not that they believe rape victims anyway.
That's its own cup of tea.
But neither do you, so...
Details.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 3. The bin giveth and the bin taketh away, usually depending on pickup day. I need to address a structural issue within the intern nutritional program. We refined caffeine protocols, we've implemented recovery measures, but one variable remained unstable: baseline nutrition. You can't build sustained performance on coffee and regret alone. You can optimize spikes, you can mitigate crashes, but if the system is depleted, you mistake stimulants for sustenance. Performance wasn't just chaotic, it was inconsistent. That's when we introduced Zevo Life. It's a patented microalgae designed to support steady energy, digestion, and overall vitality, helping your system operate consistently instead of constantly compensating. Packed with essential amino acids, vitamins A, B12, E, and K, antioxidants, minerals, and bioactive compounds, all within a single teaspoon. It's not stimulation, it's foundation. We added it to the intern's daily allocation, and the Intern Nutritional Authority has adopted it into long-term protocols. You can get 30% off your entire order when you use code TOPIC at zevo.life. And for transparency's sake, like a raccoon gazing into the future through a rearview mirror, we'll tell you plainly, the show earns a commission when you use code TOPIC. So you're not just upgrading your nutrition, you're reinforcing the structure that carries you through life's impacts. Nick, myself, and the Intern Nutritional Authority thank you for investing in the long game. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 4. Remember, cleanliness is next to loneliness. Seek the comfort of clutter.
So coming back from the break, I just got graced with how to have sex on cyberspace. And
how to have cyber sex on the internet.
I can tell you right now,
as
kids,
opposed to how to have cyber sex by mail.
Do you think they did that, like, back in the day? Like, I know they used to write poems. Like, the aristocracy used to, like, oh my God.
They absolutely had painted nudes sent back and forth.
Oh boy, they've been sending nudes before our time. All right. Okay. I'd be curious to know who was the first one to send a nude. You know what I'm saying? Who painted the first nude? And I bet you they got a hell of a commission, that painter. But no, I got graced with watching the cyber sex video, and couldn't watch the full video because you'd have to pay for it, and we're cheap here on some topic. I can tell you it's nothing like the Scooby-Doo cyber chase. Nothing like the gang going into the internet and reliving their Mystery Inc. Incorporated early days and chasing down the blue boogeyman who dies because of magnetism, because that just makes sense. And Scooby-Doo. You never saw that?
No, I was more into Cyber Chase, with the creepy floating head of Motherboard and the annoying ass
parrot.
Gilbert Gottfried.
The parrot or whatever.
Robert Parrot. I don't think it was actually Gottfried, but...
Whatever. So, I'm just flabbergasted because that is just that is where the stigmatism. That's where is it stigmatism? Not what's in your eye, but the stigma, the dogma of, oh yeah, don't have sex on the internet, don't talk with strangers. Like when we were growing up, you'd see that,
yeah,
that same kind of corny chat room.
Yeah, like, oh, watch out on the internet, you're going to get pervertized.
And then here's this lady just like LMFAO. I just want sex. Cyber sex.
The video we saw was, again, a very... this was from 1997. So you have to imagine that the state of cyber sex in 97 was
a wee bit different.
Poor. That, the bandwidth was pretty low. Good old dial-up.
I just think to myself, 1997, and then after that it just went downhill real quick. Now, in the first video that we allude to, what was it that you could pick up women at the grocery store, but what was the other variations of that?
Let's see. The earlier video, How to Meet Women in St. Louis, brought to you by Schnucks, was saying that you should meet women at grocery stores like Schnucks or at estate sales.
Oh, do tell estate sales. What is that like? Paint me a picture, oh wise one.
Have you ever wondered how old people lived?
No.
Well, after they die,
oh,
all their shit gets sold off in an estate sale, so you can go in their home and pick through their shit and find out.
That sounds really sad and depressing.
That's because it is.
Oh.
I've done a lot of estate sale shopping in the...
How did that make you feel?
Well, I got a whole bunch of used books and movies and stuff on the cheap, which is cool and good. However, they smell like old people, which is less good. You always get to pick through their shit. Always sort of interesting. Always sort of archaeological, to wander through somebody's house and look at all the garbage they've got and try and figure out who they were. Were they Jewish? Were they Catholic? Were they big history buffs? Were they big into crystal china and stuff? Did they travel? Were they more of a homebody? It's super fucking bizarre.
Well, it is kind of weird. So I had the wonderful opportunity this previous weekend of this current recording to go and clean a rental apartment. apartment house is more like it. And in that house, I can tell you without a doubt that this mother and her 4 children just did not know on how to actually clean up after themselves. So you want to talk about estate sales and leaving your past behind for other people to like actually treasure. Well, this was just their actual like living behavior, and they drew on the walls, they stained the carpets, they I don't know what it is. All I know is that there was this pink gunk on the concrete floor, and no matter what you did, you could not get this shit off.
Was it just stained, or it was like, above the plane of the concrete, like sticky gunk, like gum?
A little bit of both. If it was gum, it'd be one thing. I was knocking off chunks of gum or sticky shit with like a flat head and a hammer. And this particular instance, it was just so stuck to the floor. We took a brake cleaner, and it was a petroleum-based fluid that removes petroleum. Well, it removed the paint underneath of the fucking pink stuff. It did not remove the pink shit. So now I have the wonderful opportunity to go and paint over it, because, hey, why not? Why not try to... Why remove the pink stuff? Why not just paint over it? I think we're going to use an orbital sander or a concrete sander, but it was just in this basement, and nothing I did, no amount of elbow grease, no amount of like tools I had on hand would get rid of it. And these people just, like, I don't know what it is. It's like, just whatever you leave behind, leave it better than you found it. Much like dating.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. If you're going to date someone, don't leave me with the emotional baggage. Leave them better than how you found them.
And how do you feel about cyber sex?
It's fun. Everybody should try it. But never meet anybody IRL or give them your social security number. Because God forbid you give some stranger on the internet your banking and routing number. Well, I hate to tell you this, honey, but now I have your entire first paycheck, your second paycheck, and your third paycheck. Maybe your firstborn son if you do it right. At the end of it, you got to be careful, just like I was saying earlier. That goes for men, that goes for women, that goes for whoever is dating. Like, not even the caveat of just men, right? I'm a big advocate for men protecting themselves. Women need to protect themselves. They have to make sure that who they're going out with isn't some kind of predator, isn't some kind of child abuser. Like, I dated a woman where she had basically ran my name through, the legal site to see if there was any outstanding warrants, just to see if I was up to snuff. I'm like, that is a truly respectable thing to do. As a male, I didn't do that. I didn't do that to a woman, but that's something you have to think of. And this girl just did it because a previous boyfriend of hers had lied completely to her for months on end, to the point where they were engaged, found out from a third party, and they were able to fact check it, and they called off the engagement. And I was like, that is incredibly like crazy, just on how nonchalant that happened and how fast you were able to turn around. Now, obviously, I'm not with that girl anymore, but that turned into one of those moments of, okay, well, how do I know that any other male outside of you, namely me in this current, that relationship, are telling me the truth? And it's like, you don't. Like, all you have is your word. And again, people will use that fact and fuck you over. And women have to be careful. Men have to be careful, because people are evil and fucking suck.
The video also suggested meeting people in the wild nightclub scene of St. Louis. Do you have any experience with that?
No.
No?
Do not do that. Why would you ever want... If you want a fun time...
Because a video from Schnucks told me to.
Ah, yes. If you want to have STDs, if you want to have the whole 9 yards where you are now getting shots for the rest of your life and having to tell your future sexual partner, oh yeah, I had one fun night at a nightclub, or you spent hundreds
I had one fun night at a Schnucks.
There's just the Schnucks out there with a basement. It's like, don't tell the cops, but we sell drugs here.
I took this cucumber home and I sliced it up for my charcuterie board for a nice little summertime snack. I got fucking chlamydia.
And you just, I don't know, man. No matter what you do, there's always there's a certain grouping of people that always go out on these scenes, and they're never who you want. It's never like the honest to God, down to earth kind of people that you would call for whenever shit hits the fan. It's never, oh yeah, that's the future mother of my children, or that's the future father of my children. Like, no, that's not the type of people you want. It's a fun night. I think of a few nights at the nightclub where it was like, yeah, great time, blah, blah, blah. And I always end up with my wallet being a little lighter. It's always, I don't know. You don't meet women as a male. You don't meet women at these pretty standard provocative places. Like, you don't go and meet your future wife on OnlyFans. Like, hey babe, rate my dick. Do you want to get married?
That's true, but I don't think that's what OnlyFans is for.
No, it used to be for like Twitch, but that didn't happen. I'm not wrong when I say that, am I?
What's that?
That OnlyFans used to be a gaming service?
Maybe more for artistic stuff.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
I thought it was until it got popularized by Bella Thorne from Disney.
As far as I know, it was pretty much always like that.
Oh, well. I'm sure somebody in the comments will fact check us, but I don't think...
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
And today's sponsor is you. Thank you for your support.
Today's sponsor is Schnucks.
Our other sponsor.
Eat our vegetables. Get chlamydia. It's a package deal.
Is it buy one, get one free? BOGO night?
It's buy one and get emotional baggage.
Ah, so the vowels are silent. Got it in BOGO.
Yeah.
No, man. I don't think of I don't think a bar. I don't think a nightclub is a great place to meet women. I think in general, the idea that you had, which is like taking a girl on a date, as foreign as that is, like that's the thing. Like, do an open space. Where would you take a girl out on a date?
To Schnucks, obviously.
Ah, gotta go and get myself that nice picnic basket.
Talk about dinner and a show, baby. Wait for the misters on those veggies to kick off. Ooh boy.
Oh boy, bro.
Then you're talking.
Oh boy. Well, okay. So option one, Schnucks. What's your option two? What's your go-to? You got a girl. You're gonna maybe wife her up. You're gonna look her in the eyes and say, "Hey, baby, we're going out tonight. Where are you taking her?" And it can't be Schnucks, and it can't be Deerberg's, or any other retail store.
Those are grocery stores, not retail stores, and I'm pretty sure Deerberg's is also regional.
Sure, but you get my gist. Where are you taking her?
To the fancy Deerberg's. The upscale one in Cottleville.
Ah, yes. How could I forget?
I don't know. If you and her are more of a intellectual or creative bent, maybe the art museum.
Okay, you take her to the art museum. What's your go-to? What is your line to start a great conversation?
Hey, baby, do you want to go look at an art? Because I'm looking at one right now.
It's a great flirting thing to say. And maybe don't say it so robotically. You don't take an interest in her hobbies. You don't look at her and say, "Oh my God."
Hey, baby, do you have any interesting hobbies? Because I sure do. Mine is eating puss.
You sick bastard. You would eat puss. How dare you?
Want to come Want to come back to my place later for some barbecued cat? This one was mostly still warm when I scraped it off the road.
So it was roadkill? Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. How, like, we're talking about taking a girl on a date. How do you ask a girl on a date? Like, it's not just like we go on a date, we're at the art museum. Hey, baby, can I eat your puss? No, you got to get to that part. How do you get to that part?
I reckon that Shiva lady in that Hindu statue has a whole lot of hands. I'm trying to get a whole lot of handsy later.
Oh, boy. This is how you get slapped, gentlemen listening right now. So, how do you approach a woman? Like, what is it that, like, what do you do? Like, you don't just magically out of thin air just get a date with a girl. What do you have to do? Where do you start?
Good question. I think with the rise of the internet and the domination of work has led to people leading much more solitary lives, that you're not just hanging around public spaces so often.
Well, it goes back to our earlier point to...
Which is why you have to go to Schnooks to meet
to Schnooks. That's where you get the premium cuts, you know what I'm saying?
Premium cut of beef.
So, again, going back to, you can't meet a girl, like, just the type of people that frequent at bars, at clubs. It's just not the type. It depends on what you're trying to get into. If you're trying to get freaky, great.
Yeah,
good for you.
The problem is you're talking about meeting a good woman versus meeting, like
Easy.
a woman.
And don't get me wrong, there are the rare cases where you could meet somebody who's decent at said events. But typically the behavior is a model of what they will do in real life. If they are into clubs, they probably have a more chaotic nature. I'm not saying that's true for all. I'm just saying that's probably more than correct for, like, here's a random number, 80% of the people there. I'm sure you can meet somebody there more than once. I'm sure me and Brett have had our fun night where we'll go to the club and we'll do our thing. And, it don't mean we're shitty people, but it's if you're frequently there, you're frequently doing it, I would say reevaluate your life. And try to be a little bit more productive and try to be the kind of person that you want your woman to want. Right. So practice what you're preaching, in a sense.
Which is why instead you should be hanging around county revenue office, county courthouse, waiting for those vulnerable single women to come in trying to figure out how to register their new automobile.
Or go on Facebook. Marketplace. Find the woman. Find the listing that says, for sale, the wedding dress. Because they're selling that wedding dress because they just went through a bad breakup. Hit them up. Oh, yeah, I'll give you, they're asking $1,000. You talk them down to $800. You're like, I'll meet up with you at a QT, and you start chatting with this widowed wife, this distraught mother, this wonderful
this woman
person.
with a sob story about how her fiance ran off with a stripper, right? And what do? You move in there while she's vulnerable, and you just go ahead and you show her what a real man is, and how damned good you look in that wedding dress.
Yep. You just like, man, you really fill it out. You've been hitting the gym.
Exactly.
Your lats fucking bringing you don't got the bosom. You got maybe A cups, maybe B cups. But your lats help to, like, keep it upright. And you're over here with your fucking calves. You roll up that dress and you're like, hey, baby, want to have our first dance? And you're just dancing the night away. There you go. Met your wife. Met your husband, met your whatever. There you go. That's how you do it. Facebook Marketplace. The dating of the future. Well,
cybersex.
Yeah, that's how you cybersex, boys and girls. And aliens. So, I would say that you said the internet. Right. Internet's the like the
So dating apps.
Dating apps. I mean, I would say that it's a primary good reason to start.
Christian mingle, farmers only, standard fare.
Yeah, Tinder. Fuck it. Why not? Actually, of all the dating apps I ever did, I had more dates on Tinder, but I had my most successful on Facebook dating.
Why do you think that is?
I have absolutely no idea. It goes back to my wedding dress thing. It's just Facebook Marketplace.
It just goes back to having good lats.
Exactly, man. Hit the gym, hit the lats. Make sure that your girl knows. Lats before hoes.
Lats before brats.
Exactly. I would say that it really comes down to what the new medium is the internet. And the internet is giving it to you in various different ways. Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, Fish, Plenty of Fish, or whatever the fuck. You say Christian
Not
Mingle.
nearly enough fish.
That's why you got to go to Tuna.
That's why you have to, in Lenten season, go to your local Catholic fish fry in order to pick up vulnerable Catholic widows.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Like, genuinely.
Baby, I love the taste of fish.
That's why I come over here and I deep fry them. I love me some fried pussy. So, going through these mediums, it's a good way to meet women, and then just having a genuine conversation. And I would say that probably 11 times out of 10, you are going to get the fugly, the uninterested, the ghost, you had a really great conversation, but they stopped texting you for whatever reason. And then the 12th time, the rare time, because it's got to be a full-time job, because no matter what you do, you got to make sure that you're picking the right partner. You got to commit to this like it's a full-time job where you're doing 40 plus hours a week. You finally find them. And it's the crazy you can deal with. Because no matter how you look at it, everybody's a little crazy. Like, Brett, you're a little crazy. Me, I'm just fucking stupid. I'm just stupid crazy. And it's being able to take that crazy and live with it. And going on that first date, going somewhere public, making sure that you're protected, making sure that you could go bowling, you can go to a coffee shop, you can, there's, even if you don't have money, going to a park where it is public, awesome. Like,
nobody was ever found dead in a park.
Oh yeah, way to ruin that piece of advice.
Dead in an art museum. That's national news.
Oh my god, that's Nick Cage level shit. I'm on my way to steal the Mona Lisa. On the back of it is the treasure of the crown jewels of France that were lost and never found.
Hey baby, I need a assistant for my art heist, but it looks like you've already stolen my heart.
Whatever will we do? Blah, 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 blah. Actually, that's a shout out to our Dracula episode, which I think has come out at this point. Watch it.
Don't watch it. It's a podcast. Watch paint dry. Listen to the podcast.
It's much more interesting. Brought to you by our sponsor, Schnooks.
Brought to you by our sponsor, Sherwin-Williams Paint. Watch it dry. Listen to us. It's mildly better than watching paint dry.
Oh no. So I think in all honesty, it really does come down to using the internet, committing to a 40-hour job like you would with anything. Like if you want to go get it, and if you want the life that you want, it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and just take them somewhere out public and make sure that you protect yourself. You want to make sure that you have a condom over your body when you go out with a girl. Make sure that you are protected. Make sure that you don't get their STDs. You don't get them screaming rape. You don't get them saying, hey, oh my God, it's yours. And then you're on Jerry Springer denying it.
Don't be a tool. Rap your fool.
Brett, any closing thoughts?
Dear birds.
We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 2. Verily I say unto thee, one's worth is not in what they throw away, but what they are willing to dive back in for. I need to address an issue regarding the unpaid interns. While overall productivity has improved, there's a recurring decline following what they described as after-hours research. Translation, excess beverages were consumed. The next morning metrics were predictable. Cognitive clarity, compromised. Regret index, elevated. Sunlight compatibility, low. That's when we implemented liqueur gummies. They're formulated with DHM, which helps your body process alcohol, along with milk thistle, B vitamins, electrolytes, and ginger root to support recovery and hydration. You enjoy your evening, you support recovery. You wake up to regret your decisions with a clear head and a settled stomach. You can get 20% off your entire order when you use code TOPIC at liqueur.com. And for transparency's sake, like a raccoon peering through a kaleidoscope attempting to intuit your future by reading tea leaves, we'll warn you. The show earns a commission when you use code TOPIC. So you're not just protecting tomorrow, you're supporting the continued operational stability of the interns. Nick, myself, and the Intern Nutritional Authority thank you for your patronage. We interrupt this podcast to bring you either a Raccoon intern broadcast, a liminal space service message, an HR policy memoranda, listener surveillance notices, trash theology sermons, or the ever-present system malfunction emergency alerts. Please stand by. Trash Theology Sermon 4. Remember, cleanliness is next to loneliness. Seek the comfort of clutter. And that's all for this week on Some Topic, the show where logic is seasonal, facts are optional, and the raccoons are 2 paychecks behind. If you're a liberal, please keep your critiques to yourself. Our unpaid interns have adopted a shoot first, shred later policy, and we're in a stand your ground state after all. HR has yet to get back to us with a solution, so stand by. To the rest of you, keep your coffee black, your sarcasm sharp, and your reality on airplane mode. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay caffeinated, and stay just interested enough to keep the surveillance squirrels guessing while we slip out the back.